Welcome back to another WOR highlights video, guys. This is round 10 Jeddah. Um, I feel pretty good at this track. I feel pretty comfortable with this track, uh, especially with my race setup. I'm actually not that comfortable with my time trial setup, and in time trial, I actually set a faster lap time with my race setup. But now I'm gonna choose my time trial setup because it is hopefully gonna be faster. It's supposed to be faster. I just need to get more comfortable with it, and I'm hoping that I'll be able to do so under this session. Earlier, I got disconnected from the game because my family was using the microwave, and for some reason that interrupts the Wi-Fi. But I managed to rejoin with 10 minutes left, so I missed my first lap, and I will be carrying an extra lap of fuel this lap in case I invalidate the first attempt. Um, the goal is to get the banker lap in first and then push hard. And I feel I can push hard. My time trial is 27.5. So let's try to get a good qualification. Now here coming up to the last corner, trying to heat my tires a little bit. Optimal tire temp for softs on this track is it's C2, C3, C4, so it's 90 degrees. But you want to start your lap with around 75 degrees because they will heat up during the lap and you don't want overheating while pushing. So I go up to hot lap to get a boost from the slow final corner. Brake at around 100. I extend a little bit too far there, but it's fine. Get a nice, not the best exit, but a pretty nice apex in turn 1, 2 at least. A good turn 3. Here I keep it close to the walls, turn in early here. Downshift to keep it close to the wall. I didn't get quite as close as I would have wanted there, but a solid lap. I'm 9 tenths up. I don't know what lap that's about. Ah, yeah, this is my second lap because the first lap I invalidated the first corner. So this is the second attempt. Um, I got a nice apex there as well. Carried good minimum speed. Open the ERS and try to use my ERS optimally. I want to save maybe 20 to 30% for the final corner. So I used a bit too much earlier in the lap. It wasn't the perfect lap, it was a little bit scruffy in sector 1, but a pretty solid lap in my opinion. Get a good exit onto the straight, tap the wall a little bit, lucky I didn't get damage. Run up tight to the line and put in a 29-1. It's absolutely not my ceiling, and it puts me P11 for now. Only a 10th behind P10, but I feel I can do much better. So now I need to hurry back to the pits in order to go out one last time. Now I'm gonna be starting the final lap in Q3. I think I've heated the tires a bit better this time. I'm gonna be aiming to get a good exit onto the straight, so I open the corner. I didn't really hit the apex, but it's an okay exit, not really on the limit. Thankfully, it's not part of the lap. Here, I need to think about not braking too early. I want to brake it around 100 because when I brake earlier than that, I turn in too early and I invalidate, which I did on my first Q2 attempt. So slightly up. There, I didn't really run as far as I wanted to on the curb, so I lost a bit of time. But I'm still 2 tenths up and hit a pretty solid, a much better exit onto the straight than the last lap. Here again, a very nice corner, very smooth, keeping smooth on the throttle. Maybe not the absolute limit of grip, but a good 6 tenths up is very nice. There, I didn't really, uh, yeah, I was a bit lazy on the turn in. I felt like I was gonna clip the wall, so I waited a little bit extra, and I got a bad line onto the curb, which meant I didn't have traction onto the straight. And there I crashed. Very unfortunate. I was 6/10 up, would have landed me in P8 if I could have improved even more to 7 or 8 tenths, then I could have gotten even higher up. Unfortunate, but that's how it goes. Um, yeah, I need to stop being hesitant on the turn-ins. That's just for the first lap. And, you know, if you crash while extracting everything in quali, then so be it. Alright, starting P13 now in the race. I choose harder tire allocation because I want an extra set of hards in case there's a safety car or anything. Of course, this is the lobby restart, so it's a little while has passed since quali, and you need to lock in again. Now I'm choosing the race setup, which I'm much more comfortable with than the time trial setup. However, the problem is that when I get used to the time trial setup during quali, it's not that easy to get used back to the race setup, because the time trial setup has more front end grip, and that's one of the mistakes I need to work on, is not pushing as hard lap 1, lap 2. Not really for avoiding contact. I can avoid contact, but you know, to avoid track limits and to avoid overheating in the early laps, you need to introduce the tires very gently. Alright, so I'm starting on the hards. Let's do this. Lights out and away we go. A good reaction, better than a lot of others. Again, the Wi-Fi is not that fun. I try to stay out of any damage, and I managed to get past some people. I don't know why some people were ghosted. Of course, a lot of lag, and I really need to check that router. This is what I'm talking about. Unnecessary to go wide there. I didn't get the penalty, but still, I probably should have gotten a penalty. Here I didn't get, yeah, I didn't hit the apex, as you see. Even though I'm already up to 95 degrees almost, it's not optimal tire grip. And for hards on this track, the C2 95 is the optimal temperature. So I don't really know what that's about, but it definitely feels like there's less grip compared to my practice sessions in the beginning. And it's hard to decide if I'm just used to the time trial setup now, or if that's just the way it is for some reason. But yeah, it's something that I need to think about and be more careful on the early laps. There I let Quintin through. He was burning a lot more than me, and we're both hard runners compared to the medium runners. I back out there because I don't want to send for a move or anything, and a bit hesitant on the throttle, but get a solid slipstream. Here Lucy tries to pass me. I'm burning a little bit, and I'm gonna be trying to go around the outside here. Brake at like 120. Could have broken a bit later, and I get undercut. So that was very close being the end of my race. But I get undercut. I mean switchback as a result of that. Yeah, I'm a bit sick now. So, however, here I get some good apexes and unfortunate track limits. But let's see what we can do. Here I'm already dropping back a little bit from Lucy, and as you hear me say, I say it fucking doesn't work. I'm talking about the tires not gripping, and I don't know why. Joshua goes wide here, but he manages to keep the position. I'm not on a limit of grip, as you see, but I'm struggling a lot in the early laps. Could also be just the hards, since I'd only practice with the mediums. Also another corner cutting already by lap 3. I have 3 seconds and a couple warnings, which isn't optimal. Here I close up a lot with DRS, but I don't go for the move. I back out, I tap him a little bit because he's not as quick as me in that corner. I'm very good at those corners, just sending it blind corner. Yeah. So here I'm just trying to catch up. Same thing one lap later. I get DRS and I catch up so incredibly much. I don't know if I'm running lower downforce than everyone else, but no, it must be higher downforce because I took that corner much quicker than him. Anyways, I get into DRS here and I try to overtake. He pushes me all the way to the outside wall, but I get past. Not the optimal place to overtake, to be fair, because now you don't have DRS for the next straight. By lap 6 I already gotten more penalties, mainly from turn 1 2 by turning in too early. Here I just completely lose it and bit it into the wall, overheating my tires in the early laps, and yeah, not the best driving by me. Virtual safety car deployed, and I have no choice but to pit for a new front wing. Not much happens in the next couple of laps, except for me catching up with Poggy pretty quickly. I think he made a big mistake somewhere, and I'm just hitting all the apexes with my fresher tires. I bump him a bit, which almost makes him spin. Yeah, oopsie. And he lets me through because he must have some front wing damage or something. I was gonna send the outside there because I had the momentum, but he lets me through, or he just backs out. But he's losing a lot of time, so I assume he has some damage. Here, same thing with Katana. He must have made a mistake because he was 5 seconds ahead and now he's barely a tenth. So I lost a bit of momentum there by running into the back of him. He defended the inside a bit harshly, but I can't blame him for that. He didn't know where I was gonna go, and yeah. So I tried to send it down the inside there, send it, just stick it around the inside, but he gets some momentum and traction on the outside. So I send it into turn 1 on the inside, late brake, Daniel Ricciardo, and make it stick on the traction zone. Starting lap 13, Katana burns like crazy, and with the DRS he catches up really quickly. I brake late at 100 and aim for the outside line and manage to keep the position. It's very effective to use the outside line for defending into turn 1. I'm not sure at this point if Katana did it on purpose, DRS traded with me, or if he was aiming for the position, but I figured we could DRS trade a bit because we wanted to gain a bit of race time to the runners ahead, 15 seconds ahead. So I'm not really burning on the first straight. I burned a tiny bit on the second straight and get him in the braking zone. And then later on this pit straight, he tries to overtake me, but I don't want to lose time behind him in the first sector, so never mind. I thought I would be sticking it around the outside. Remember that I did that a lot of laps, but he just flew by. On lap 14, the safety car was deployed and I decided to pit for softs because I had already used hards and mediums, and I had an extra set of hards, but I felt like if I wanted to rake up anything with my 9 seconds of penalties, I needed to push hard, so I took the risk. Unfortunately though, I didn't really think about tire warm-up because I thought the safety car would go in next lap. So I only have 60 degrees on the softs. It should be closer to 90 degrees, which explains why I'm losing so much time and I have no grip virtually. So I'm trying to warm up my softs as quick as possible. Tier 8 Classic, less than a lap after the first safety car, another safety car, yippee. Yeah. But now it looked like my race had potential. Until then, just a blunder by me, you know, not focusing during the safety car. Yeah, really unfortunate. It's just the stupid small stuff like that which makes me lose races and have bad races. I was up into P4 with barely a lap old softs and only 6 more laps to run on them, and though I had a 9-second penalty, I know a lot of people behind also have big penalties, and I thought I could maybe drag something out. But now, with the front wing damage, I'm gonna have to pit and lose all my positions. Make it even worse, here going to the pit lane, trying to gain a bit of time. I get under 80 kph and then I accelerate! 85 kph into the pit. A 10-second penalty, so unnecessary. Probably took me out of, well, not point contention, because now there are only 10 people left in the race. All of the other people DNF'd. One sign of my growing consistency is not DNFing anymore. I mean, I have DNF'd a couple races, but that's retirements because I've been so far behind. I haven't really had any hard crashes, just small mistakes, track limits. I think track limits and tire overheating are my main two weaknesses. Here, safety car in this lap, and this time my tires are pretty warmed up because I came out of the pit just a lap ago. Barely any tire wear. These are gonna last great for 4 laps. Here I try to gain a position. I mistake the 100 meter board for the 50 meter board. No, vice versa. I didn't see the meter boards because the car on the inside, and I absolutely send it into turn 1. I must have really scared some people, and I'm really thankful I didn't crash into anyone and ruin anyone's race. That was crazy. Anyways, I'm now 7 seconds behind, and hasn't really been the best race for me. As usual, track limits, really unfortunate mistakes like front wing and speeding in the pit lane, and then that send. But I was thinking P10, I'm getting a point at least, and I can aim for fastest lap. Let me take you through the fastest lap of the race by 3/10 over Mr. Bust. I think he owned it before, but I'm using all my ERS on this lap, and it wasn't the cleanest lap, not in sector 1, but still enough. Still enough. Not an apex in turn 1 too, but I don't abort. I figure I can still make it stick. Pushing there. Here I run perfectly on the curb. Perfect exit. Keep it close. Turn in early. 5th gear. Keep it close. Run over the curb. Run over the exit curb. Burn a little bit. Get up to 8th. Down into 4th. Keep it close all the time. And on the exit. Into 7th gear, quick into 5th, and just around the tight corner. Those are the corners I'm good at, as I said. Unfortunately I made a mistake there in Quali, but otherwise I'm pretty solid at those corners. I feel like I just need to get slightly more control of the car and not tap the walls, especially on street circuits like this. Sometimes I drive incredibly smoothly, and sometimes I drive too lazily and touch the wall. So here, NF Melga and Katana. Okay, Katana had the fastest lap, a 1:30.6, and I go across the line to make it a 1:30.3. Fastest middle sector and the green sector 1 and 3. Now I'm just trying to make the P10 and fastest lap stick, just make it to the end of this race. I have 7 seconds more penalties than Poggy ahead, but I realized that he's going pretty slowly, so I tried to catch up. In only 2 laps, I close down a 5-second gap, and here as Poggy goes wide, I overtake him on the mini straight. Unfortunately, I still have 7 more seconds of penalties than him, and I thought there were more laps in the race, but the race is coming to an end. If it hadn't been for my drive-through, I would have finished in P8, ahead of Poggy at least, and if it hadn't been for my many track limits, I would have also finished ahead of Poggy. But it is what it is. Now I'm gonna get demoted behind Poggy. Final lap of the race, just trying to make it home. Here, oh my days. Oh my days, that was so scary. On the last sector of the last lap, I just slid the rears after overheating them from my pushing on the fastest lap, and I just went into the wall. Luckily, I didn't lose a tire. That was so close. But Daniel Hoyland in front of us just DNFs right before the finish line. So I do gain a position. I go up to P7 on track, get demoted to P8 because of penalties.
Much higher.
And as you hear me saying, it was a bad race. Not an optimal race.
Not the most deserved points.
Could have finished much higher. Thankfully, I got points.
I know my problem. My problem is
in
the beginning. Not taking it easy enough in the beginning. I get too many track limits, and I overheat the tires. And the problem is also making silly mistakes. I need to lock in, as well as that safety car, man. Fuck me. Oh well.
That brings us up 5 points in the championship from 0.
Other guys had 6
I'm not
seconds,
sure
so
where I'm in the championship now. Probably not that high, because I have not been that consistent this season. More consistent than last season, I would say, but not that consistent. And next week is the season finale, Japan. Let's aim for a good result there and end the season on a high note. And hopefully next season we can start on an even higher note.